is just getting ridiculous. They had another deal in Los Angeles where a black guy was on a bicycle. And they got after him, he ran from them. And then he dropped his bike and they said punched one of the deputies in the face. Then he dropped a bundle of clothing he had a good handgun that fell on the ground. And I guess he was trying to pick it up, so both deputies then opened fire on him.
We're recording, Kay. We're recording.
We're live too.
Now they got
Okay.
all them protesters going crazy again.
Los Angeles.
Speaking first.
You're okay.
So glad to have you.
Just got on. I'm glad we're all here. Wish more of us were here.
Mike, I can't see you, the chair's in the way.
I can see his belly.
I can't see the chair.
What do you want me to do, Mark? Want me to move so you can see me?
Can't,
Look at that chair.
What chair?
he's viewing.
Oh, it's on that camera. Oh, okay.
You can't see my belly, Stephen. I don't have one.
Yeah, look at mine.
Jack, do you have any leftover?
Be nice.
Call him.
They brought me this to bring on.
Okay, it's now 3:30, we're gonna call this meeting, computer adjourned. Mike, you got your list over there, so why don't you go through what we need today? I do want to say one thing. Within, a lot of this is fueled by just plain old jealousy. We've had it going on for years, it's been sitting in the background, and it's finally come to an ugly head.
Yeah,
But let's remember why we're here, folks.
yes,
We're
sir.
not here for the employees, we're not here for ourselves, we're here to do the work of our citizens and taxpayers. So keep that in your mind, that's why we're here.
That's
Why
right.
we run for the office. And, that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and Mike has the paperwork, I don't have it.
Well, what
Let
else?
me follow along with, Mike, if you, where we're at, let's just move on and get this knocked out.
Okay, well, let me see if I can figure out where we
We
were.
were in
We
the
were
auditor.
county treasurer.
Well, county treasurer was next.
We were at treasurer and we stopped at auditor. Jackie had already made,
Yeah.
Jackie had made her decision.
Do y'all want me to go get Leanne or?
Yeah, let me see when she left. Maybe, you know.
Well, who's next on the list?
Leanne,
County treasurer?
she'll be here in just a
She's
second.
asking for a permanent part-time position, which I think was gonna be 18,000, is that right?
Well, I didn't personally totally opposed to hiring any new people. Period.
Yeah, but I think she was going to take the insurance money that they're
Yeah.
not using.
It's just
The only problem
to,
with that is that
Mike,
it's about you, what if he quit tomorrow and we have to hire somebody full time to do the insurance?
We have to go back now.
Okay, Leanne left, so I guess we can skip over her.
she said she was sitting there.
Oh, is she coming?
Man, I just struggled today.
She's on her way back. She said she had to judge the Coleman Hill FFA officer candidate. So let's just skip her and go to the
What page are y'all on?
A. What,
Which is the constables.
but didn't we already talk about that?
Yeah, we did, I think. We decided to leave the telephone money alone because
That
that,
was on JT.
that's JP, yes. Not constable.
Okay.
Well, the constables don't have telephone.
Yeah, I don't see anything we need to do in those,
They're pretty good on budget. They're pretty much on budget.
Yeah.
yeah.
Brian, do you want to change anything in yours?
No, I would just like to address the court for 1 second and just to go over just a few things that I needed to make them aware of. And I think, I've heard a lot today. I mean, I think everyone has made good points. And I think Commissioner Nash hit it on the head, really, when he spoke of the fact that we all make personal decisions to be here to serve the people, to serve the citizens of Tyler County, our taxpayers. And I think we see with law enforcement now, I think we need, law enforcement is not cheap anymore. It comes at a price. And I think we're at that point where we really need to understand that not only in this coming year, 2021, but the years to come, we're really going to have to show a lot of emphasis on continuing to improve not only the employees that we're able to attract, but also the equipment itself. And, because in the 2021 budget, we're going to be looking at, as we go throughout that year with the money that we have within our line item budget now, replacing body cameras, in-car cameras, the bulletproof vests that these officers wear have a liability lifespan, if you will, of 5 years. So those are things that, those prices are going up on all of that, the equipment wise. We've got to prepare ourselves for that. And as I look through the 2020 budget for my office, and I think Cheryl made a great point earlier, and I think some others have hit on it too. 2020 has been an unusual year. It's hard to base our figures around 2020 and the impact that COVID has had. Because with the law enforcement, with both sides of the law enforcement, the criminal justice side of it, you're surrounded by the JP level, the county level, those district court levels. And the district clerk was exactly right. Cheryl she was on point when she said that we had really just begun to ramp up our court systems and making sure that these offenders are processed in a timely fashion. Our district attorney, the courts, and the law enforcement end of it were all on the same page, and maybe even a lot of us were on the same page. And know that page got turned with COVID. So I just want the court to be aware that in going and looking through my line items, I mean, there is what I've got within my budget I can work with, and I feel comfortable at this point to be able to protect and serve the citizens of Tyler County the way they deserve to be protected. But again, 2021, when we start getting closer to the end, there's going to be some tough decisions that the court and the taxpayers themselves are going to have to make on where we go forward. The recruitment for law enforcement personnel, be it through the dispatch system, be it through jail, be it through your patrol deputies, be it all the way up to your elected official, we're not having that. There's nobody wants to be a part of this anymore. And you get some that want to be a part of it, but tell you they're not qualified to be a part of it. They're not somebody that I, as sheriff, am willing to take on to my team to be able to provide that good service. So again, with those salaries and allowances are something that we are going to have to look at from the very top to the very bottom. Pertaining to the 2021 budget, I will reference that I would ask the court to please consider and approve. I know under the CARES Act, the CFR committee, hazard pay is one of the items that they have brought before, and they will bring before the court for approval. And in looking at that, I'm asking that the court consider and approve hazard pay for the sheriff, for the justice of the peace, the constables, those elected officials that the people have put their trust in, and they have put us in that position. They're asking us to lead those individuals. And I know with that list and we've got to believe that everybody in that list that I just listed there are the types of leaders that they're gonna be in the very middle of what's going on. So we refer to the hazard of pay as for the first responders. You have these elected officials that I just mentioned, they are the first responders. They will be in there with their people. So I would ask that, I know that with the 2021 budget, with any type of salary allowances with elected officials must be disclosed, and I just ask that the court look at that and approve that. Other than that, I mean, like I said, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago in the budget workshop, I'm not asking for any increases, if you will, within my line item budgets, but I am definitely not needing a decrease in my budget anywhere. The people of Tyler County deserve the best service that we can provide to them, and with this, I'm able to do that at this point. Thank you.
Under the hazardous duty, there's nothing in your, budget that's got a line item for that, correct? Or does-
Yes, on the hazardous pay, yes.
It hadn't been made into the line
So,
item yet.
what are we talking about on that?
How much-
Like to add?
Well, and what I would go is with the recommendation that the committee makes before I know the committee has made recommendations for the court. When the committee meets and it presents it to the court, I was just asking that the elected officials are the ones with adjustment fees, the constables, the sheriff himself be included in that. And I think the committee has come up with I think it was
That doesn't need to be on the budget.
Okay.
That doesn't need to be on the budget. That's something that.
That'll be through that.
Cares Act.
Won't that be through the,
Well, but there's a
Yeah.
stipulation, it has to be posted, because he's an elected official, if that part has to be in the salary. So, you know, if we're going to, go forward with the official, the deputies and everybody else, they don't have to be, am I right, Jackie? They don't have to be, because we can create that line item.
it all goes under Brian?
Right,
But for
And-
an elected official to get it, it has to be posted in the paper.
But please know this though too on it, if, from the position I'm in, when you have these elected officials that are also, when you take the constables, when you take the justice of the peace, these, the title of sheriff, when they are all combined in, under this hazardous pay, I don't want it to be that the sheriff is considered the only first responder out of this bunch. I think it needs to be, in my opinion, it needs to be a collective, distribution, if you will, to all of those elected officials. Because again, the public is expecting, the taxpayer is expecting that we as elected officials lead, and I'm telling you, I'm dirty right now, I'm leading down there with them. And I know these other individuals are the same way on their certain time as the times that they're called. So I would just ask that it be that the court look at it as a whole, not just as the sheriff.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Sheriff, I see on the jail side, the prisoner meals,
That's what I was gonna say.
$50,000. 18 and 19 went above that. Now, and I can remember in 2013 when I started jail administrator, the prisoner meals were $50,000. That's 2013, January 1st. So far, it's been 7 years for sure that they hadn't gone up in price. It looks like we're going over budget now on those prisoner meals. So I would look at maybe putting it up to 65,000 and cover those expenses. So has not been an increase. I know since 2013.
Hey, Commissioner Sturck, you're right in a lot of the activity that we're seeing on the criminal element as well as the court side of it. You're exactly right. We are seeing an influx, as you will, on prisoners. So those meal prices and of course the cost of food, if you will, you're exactly right. It is going up. So I would
So
entertain
we'll
that.
bump it up to 65.
Yeah, go up. That's what another 15,000, put it up to 65.
62,173 in 2019. And right now we're at 27,756. So.
Yeah, we're pretty low on prisoners because of COVID, so.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
but,
Correct.
all right, 65.
They were over in training and education a little bit too.
Yeah,
That was, what fiscal year was that, Jackie?
2018, 2019.
Okay, yes, correct.
2019 and 18.
2019 was to 2864. You got-
No,
I got 42.
42.
Oh, I'm in the wrong one, I'm sorry.
I was thinking that.
42, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was in the
Oh, shoot. I saw that look back, dang it.
wrong.
No, it's not.
I know, boy, that chocolate syrup must have done something if I can't see that.
Oh, yes, I will.
So we wanna
No, I would.
pull that up, Mike?
Yeah, I think we probably need to,
Huh?
Just kind
45 at least,
That would be good, probably.
2,500 or 5.
I would do 4,500.
Yeah, and we are referenced on the sheriff's department side, not the jail side.
No, it's the jail side.
Okay, the jail, okay, that's what I'm making sure. Okay.
Well, yeah, and you got enough you went over in your side too.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me figure out.
And that's why I apologize, I don't have the 18 numbers, and probably have the 20, and, yeah, that's,
We got
Well,
it.
no, you could
so
do
it is a different, yeah, no, I know, I got you.
on repairs to.
Sheriff, on the training on your deputies, if you're sending somebody to the academy, then traditionally, we've taken that money out of the, sheriff's fees, out of the general fund side of that, and not your training and education. Someone going to the academy.
No, wasn't it,
Be mindful of that if you get somebody going to the academy.
Yes, you're
but
correct.
wasn't it, Stephen, out of that, peace officers fund?
The, yeah, the fee,
Yeah, some type of fund, I'm not sure what it was.
Okay, that's not the general fund, that's a
Fees or
different
funds.
fund.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not in his line item, is where, I don't know where it is, but it's not in his line
It's a
item.
separate fund by itself.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Because,
just be mindful of that, don't spend your deputy training money on academies.
Yes, sir.
So I think all that probably looks okay.
the only one he went over in was repairs to vehicles, but a lot of that we got reimbursed from insurance.
Yeah, he's had quite a few little crashes this year.
You know, and that's the thing about it, these, you know, is we're blessed to have the number of officers that we do have and providing 24-hour coverage. And you think of the miles that are driven, yes, we are blessed in a lot of ways.
And also blessed that nobody's been seriously hurt in him. I mean,
Yeah, oh, yeah, there's, yeah,
You were talking about buying body cams and all that.
yes.
Are you planning on doing that next year?
What I'm looking at is the fact of what is currently budgeted within is to begin a process, especially with the, let's take the body armor vest, with the 5-year liability warranty. We're able to, not all 12, 13, 14 are going out at the same time. It's a rotating, so if we have the ability to be able to purchase a few at the end of this year and, you know, next year, I feel that we'll be pretty comfortable. We're able to do that within what we have right here, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the deputy supplies 9,500 will get them.
Well, and when I say get them, it's not gonna get all 12 of them, but we may put us at a point where we have 3 that are expiring or 4 that are expiring. Same way with issues when we have, the car cameras. We can replace those at certain times. With the body cameras, where we're getting to those, the body cameras themselves have if you have a server that's connected to them, we have to be able, when we go to buy new body cameras that the deputies and investigators wear, we will have to make that purchase all at one time to make sure that they are compatible with the server, the computer system that it is set up on, because the ones that we have now, of course, like anything else, we've had 5 or 6 years, and they're already outdated, if you will. And it's very important that we spend well, as I said earlier, from the liability end for the county, for the safety of the officers and the public, we need to make sure that that equipment, those three are of the top of the line, that there are no malfunction, where there's no liability to anyone that's involved.
So we can, what you're saying and what I'm looking at is if we need be, we would be able to amend within your budget if it goes over that particular line item?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
And if not,
Yeah, and I would say you come back to court and maybe even contingency or something if it's a large amount, but, you know, it needs to be, a plan, you know, moving forward with that.
Yes, thank you.
all right.
You're easy.
The treasurer's.
Thank y'all.
Now.
Go catch that criminal.
Sit here a little longer, it's cool in here.
All right, Constable, precinct 3.
No, I gotta back up the lens here.
Okay.
Wild woman's back.
First, I'd like to apologize to the court. I'm acted fool and I'm better than that, so please accept my apology for that. But I am asking the court for a part-time position, a trained full-time.
Go a little closer to the microphone, Leanne.
Yeah, sit in that chair.
Thank you, sir. I'm asking the court for a full-time, part-time person, that I can train and, you know, work in my office, on a regular basis.
And a while ago, Leanne, they said it was $18,000.
Well, I think that to be fair, you're probably looking at 20. As in the other offices, they have 20 allotted in. It ranges anywhere between 20 and 25. Sir,
Well, we cut 300,000 out of Commissioner's Court appropriation.
well, I just would like to remind the court that, with HR and payroll, that used to have a full-time position with it. And, when I got that in my office, at that time, it wasn't, you know, wasn't a big deal. I'm not asking for a full-time person, I'm asking for a part-time person, to fully staff my office.
Yeah,
Anybody?
I'm having a hard time justifying that at this time, Leanne, on my side. I'm sorry about that. That's just the way it is on my point of view.
And that's your prerogative, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
We're having time is bad.
sir,
The timing's bad, it's long time I agree with Stephen on that.
time is back. I just would like to say that let's remember to keep everything in perspective. If time is bad for me, then it's bad for everybody else. And we're back to being fair. I'm not trying to be horsey about it. It's just that, there are offices that are prepared and fully staffed, and in some opinions overstaffed, and I'm begging for a part-time, and I feel that, to be quite honest, that I shouldn't have to beg to have trained personnel in my office.
Anybody got any more comments?
Well, I'm mulling it over a minute, trying to figure out.
Well, the timing might be bad right now, but I mean, is that gonna make it bad for another whole year? I mean, you know, you put it
Well,
on.
we're looking at the tax situation, where we've been fighting this for the last 2 days on kind of, we know what's fixing to happen with the taxes if we don't do something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
Well, and I would also say that if if in the judge's office, he's allowed to utilize the funds, and I realize that there's some discrepancy in how this works, but if there's some ability to use the unused health insurance premium that the county budgets for that, then why can't I be shown that same courtesy?
That's this year. What about next year?
But Martin, what she's trying to tell you is that her or Pam either one take the insurance. That's what she's
I
trying to do.
understand. How about we just have that conversation?
Yeah, we did, because if either one of them leaves tomorrow, then the next person's probably gonna leave.
I'm looking out for that.
Yeah.
Well, and I understand that, but we are still doing that in other offices. So if that's the case, then we need to go back and revisit those. Because that is the justification. I mean, that is the basis and the justification in every conversation that Jacques and I had. That is how we justified the $20 an hour, the $20,000, the this, that, and the other. And we're saving, and I agree with you, Stephen, we're not necessarily saving, but we have budgeted and we have to budget. Well, if that courtesy is given to that office, then why is it not given to my office? And I realize that.
It's not given to that office.
But
I
that
think the
is,
judge's office not given, he doesn't get the $99,000 for the insurance.
but that is his
That's in the general
justification.
fund.
That is his justification, and if that is how these, in his mind, how these are funded, then it just makes sense that should be allowed on my side of it. And, I mean, sure, I may not be here next year, and neither may Penny, but, I mean, Martin, we're gonna make up the difference in your longevity when you're gone. I mean, there's some savings, surely.
I'm not opposed to it, but I don't know if there's any other way we could work it out. I know we had floaters and all that at one time that worked
Well,
with
that's
different
what we
offices.
took that out of Commissioner's Court, that 35,000. And then the retirement part, because we don't, in the beginning it was floaters. And then everybody wanted their own person, and that's why it wasn't getting used.
So there is 35,000 plus the insurance that we did take out of the appropriations for just such an occasion. And I'm not asking you to use all of it.
But we're cutting 300,000, I mean, I don't honestly feel like you need the person, and I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
I'm not asking for full-time. I am asking for part-time. And I fully believe that I can justify every hour.
We may have to, I mean, of course, we can't vote on it anyway right now, but we're kind of split on it, so I mean, it may be something we have to talk about a little further down the line to get to the finish line. Why don't we just work on down and see what else we got right now?
Anybody have anything else?
The constables,
Constables, I
I think if we leave them
I
alone.
think we need to leave them alone too, because they're normally always asking for more.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that this year.
Okay, now I'm on page 9, where,
Yeah.
That's it, page 9.
okay. I had already checked them off, and y'all said a while ago, leave them alone.
Okay, now I do have a question when we get down to health officer insurance. I know the aid to indigents line item is what we give to Caring and Sharing. Okay, Brian, maybe you can help me out with this one. Okay, we have a county health inspector and a county health officer. The officer used to be, if I'm not mistaken, and Donnie Snake, she's got a memory like an elephant. Wasn't Dr. Swearingen our health officer, and then he passed away, and didn't
They
Whoever
hired a
with
nurse, a
Southern-
registered nurse.
the Southern Health Partners?
Did use.
So when we
Right
paid
right
her,
now, Dr. Gibson is our,
County health officer.
county health person.
Dr.
Well,
Denson.
but she's only for COVID. She only agreed to do that during the COVID.
That's
Only
what I
for
was
COVID.
thinking.
so what I'm saying is, we're not expensing it. We haven't expensed the county health inspector. I know we've had it budgeted, but is there anything that says we have to have it budgeted?
Well, that,
Yeah.
what my memory was, there was some
I
complaints
think it's
about
supposed to have it.
restaurants and stuff outside the city limits. I think that was kind of, Jack had wanted that because,
Oh, so if somebody called about something, he can send a,
yeah.
but we haven't done it in a long time.
No, we haven't. Sure, we'll take that out. Get the first thing about it.
Yeah.
So we would need to keep the county
I think
health
2020 was
officer.
the first one.
Is that what you're saying, Martin, is we have to have a county health officer?
I know, but there, we will need one, especially in different types of emergencies, like we just had,
Right.
COVID and all that. So, I don't know how much we need to keep, but there needs to be some money to draw from there.
Jamie, that may be under emergency management as well. I
There
don't
was
know.
26,000 spent out of it in 2018.
That's.
There wasn't anything spent out of it in 2019.
That's what I'm saying, whoever it was is
We
not the,
actually had an inspector at one time, and that was, I forget his name, but we did have an inspector at one time.
wasn't Colin Bishop, was it?
That's who it is. He was the
That's who it
City.
is now, the city's,
city inspector that did ours, I think. Well, we had the
No,
other guy.
We actually had a county inspector.
Well, he retired several years ago, back before I even took
Yeah, he
office.
grew up.
Frankie
Frankie Rogers?
Rogers. Frankie Rogers.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
And then,
so with Dr. Denson being the county health officer for COVID, I mean, am I supposed to be sending her some of this money? I don't know it.
She would probably come under that.
Man, don't ask me, Jackie.
I'm not sure,
Yes, under.
I think that would probably fall under emergency management.
CARES Act.
Well, the CARES Act, I know would cover it because it's above and beyond the normal scope.
Well, the county health officer was the person who, the jail had some,
Wasn't it
you know,
the Southern
they
Health
checked on the
Partners?
jail.
Yes,
they-
it should.
Yes, I remember talking about
Yeah,
that.
that
Isn't it that?
lady, when we first done that after Dr. Swearingen quit.
So that would have been right around like 2004.
I've heard somebody talk about that.
Because 2018, that 26,000 that you're seeing spent is what we spent, we paid to, maintenance.
Commissioner Stern, do you remember with Southern Health Partners back in 13 or 14? Do you remember that with the,
Yeah, that
with the nurse playing the health part?
26,000 was the Southern Health Partners. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
I can't remember what that, she had a sales meeting?
She was a registered nurse.
She was at a sales
I
meeting,
can
wasn't
see
she,
it,
Brian?
yes, ma'am, I can see her, I can find out her name, yes, I will find out her name.
So is she still doing it, or is it
No,
the
no,
nurse?
it's not,
It's
she's
the-
no more, that was, matter of fact, yeah, she's not under Southern Health Partners umbrella anymore, that, yes, correct.
Sandra says that she doesn't know that Dr. Denson is supposed to get any kind of funds.
I would consider removing the health inspector. We can always have that back and leaving the health officer alone.
Yeah, we could pay out for contingency if we had something come up on the health inspector side.
Her name was Mary Hoffman, sorry,
Yeah,
Mike,
that's
Mary
it.
Hoffman.
I was gonna
Mary
say, I
Hoffman.
knew,
Yes.
but she at a sales meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought so.
Y'all want to scratch the inspector? That's 6,000, so we could,
Okay.
One of my guys just sent us the thing, said budget us a raise.
Okay, the next one is the extension.
So we're leaving the health officer.
Yeah, we'll leave the health officer for now. I mean,
Cause I don't
I don't know what the
know.
26,000, that hasn't been for the jail.
I wanna say that, but I haven't found it yet.
We don't have to add anything to that extension being we went ahead on new agent, right?
Yeah, their
It's already
budget's good.
It's good and the A&M pays the rest of it.
Mhm. Now, data processing, if you look,
Ma'am?
if we're down to data processing,
Okay,
and as you know, everybody's gone electronic and we've worked from home and everybody's got MiFi's, but you can see that we were over budget
Service contract.
in service contracts
Supply.
and support services. Well, we didn't go over there.
No,
Never
we're
mind.
good on support services.
It's
You did
the
on,
professional
supplies.
services. I said support, but professional services.
Yeah.
Supply.
And professional services is like Donald sitting over there.
Calhoun Media.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the support services is like for our software and that type of thing that we pay each year with Net Data and Highway Tech. So it needs to be increased just a little bit, not much.
Which one?
Professional services
I mean, go to 70?
and yeah, that should be fine. And then the, service contracts. Supplies, I'm okay with leaving it like it is, even though it went over last year, because if you look the year before, we didn't. It just depends on what we got going that year.
Along with professional services, I mean, we've only spent 6,000 this year, 6,005, but it's because of.
Because of COVID and all that stuff, of course, we ain't made it through the last next.
Right, yeah.
Which brings up something I wanted to ask. I know that Terry had asked about the Zoom, okay, and Donald. Donald said it's about 100 and something a year.
It's less than 200.
Because hers, if you buy the membership or whatever,
Dollars or $1,000? You talking about $200?
A year.
a year. So is it okay with y'all if I put that on Commissioner's Court agenda at the next meeting to discuss that for her?
yeah.
I want to
And
go
we
back.
just need to make sure that the recorded meetings, that they have capability to do that and still be accessed by the public, if that's a
Part of it.
public type meeting.
This is a whole separate one for.
It's a whole separate one for juvenile because hers is not open record stuff.
Correct.
But we can buy a membership. I mean, Donald could tell you, we could buy a membership for the county, for the public, right, Donald?
But
If they wanted,
the only person that needs an account is who's hosting. So if Terry would host,
okay, come over here because you speak low and they can't hear you from where they're at.
the only person that would need an account is who's hosting it. And the only person, the JPs have something that they've already set up. But as far as with juvenile probation, they're going to host parenting and multiple things. So if you're trying to share that with others, it would be better that she has control over, to set up meetings and all that, so nothing's interfered with. Bringing up Zoom, it's $149.90 per year for the entire year.
Did y'all hear that?
Stephen?
It's $149.90, is that what you said?
$149.90 for the whole year.
For juvenile, so is it okay if I put that on the next meeting, since I just said it because I was on my mind?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, just put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
okay.
Okay, back on data processing. We raised the professional services to 70. Is there anything else we was gonna raise up here on service contracts? I mean, we were.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We're at 40,000 basically right now.
Yeah.
We only have 11,000.
The highest we've had was the 83. And that was getting a lot of people set up with stuff.
Which this year's been just,
Wonder if 60 would.
Well, we can do that and then we'll see where we go, where we are.
Say again.
So 60,000 for service contracts and data processing, and then 70,000 for professional services, and then everything else. can
Our
stay.
equipment lease,
Well, equipment lease could go up to 30,
35.
35.
I think we probably need to.
And as you're well aware, everything's going
Electronic.
electronic, whether you like it or not.
Times they are changing.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, so next is the maintenance
Maintenance
department,
department.
and we don't have the judge here.
Give it.
Oh, yeah, we'll skip it. We need to go over capital outlay.
It doesn't reflect it in this, but Brian, what I did was I looked at your leases that you have coming up in 2021, and I moved that, I've got it his fixed in that capital outlay. I just took from the 129,500 that we have for sheriff's cars.
Jackie,
Yes,
Jackie, can you hear me?
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
On office equipment, you suspect we'll be needing to, buy some new office, furniture, whatever over there at the tax office.
Uh-huh.
So you reckon that, we need to go up there, or that's sufficient, you think, that 52,000?
It should be.
I think it's,
I mean, the prison already has them ready, and I've got the PW on my computer, and I know it's not gonna go over that by no means. Well, that'll be paid out of this year's budget.
Okay, big, we hope,
yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got a gun, so.
Yeah, well,
What? What's she talking
talk about you, bud, going over budget on the tax office.
So on that, capital
about? It's gonna
outlay,
be nice though.
where it had the 129,500 for sheriff's cars,
Yeah,
I lowered that to 100,806, and then I moved the 26,710 is for the principal lease payments, and 1,986 is for the interest. And if you add all those together, it comes up to the 129,500. But I just had to split it because he's got some lease payments coming up in 2021.
can you go over them one more time? 100,806 in the sheriff's car.
Right, and then capital lease is 26,710, and then
Interest on capital.
interest on capital leases is 1,986. Because we were just paying them from the sheriff's card, and then Darla said, you really need to break it up like you do for the commissioner, so that's what I did.
Okay, you subtracted 28,694 from sheriff's cars. And then you said you changed something else.
She basically moved it down in those other two lines.
Here's what it looks like.
You write down with the new budget.
Did I lose y'all?
No, you still never.
No, I'm doing it.
We're waiting on
They got
documents.
quiet.
You're Jack.
get paperwork straightened up. Okay, our debt service, which I don't think that's,
Okay, your debt service is what we transfer to other funds. And that, to my knowledge, doesn't need to change, does it?
not that I know of. But,
Well, if it's right on.
yeah,
Yeah. And so if you look at the bottom of that page, I don't know what y'all are looking at, but I've handed out some stuff that said draft. If you see, after we made the changes to the, Commissioner's Court appropriations, you see that where it says general fund surplus, that's we're to the good in that budget, that much.
on the draft,
Yes. Because I know yesterday, Jock was saying that each department didn't have totals, that's why I ran that. So you could see the total of each budget, so you would know what it was.
What page is that on?
It's on the last page of the draft.
What page number, I'm sorry?
it's the last
Last
page,
page.
13 to 13.
Last page, okay.
The last piece of paper.
I see it now, thank you.
Okay, so now that I've showed you that, now I can sort of have to burst your bubble. If you go to page 2, last year when we stayed with the effective rate, it took that last, on the bottom of page 2, above the 10 million, you've got 1.5 million that says transfer from emergency disaster fund. And that's what it took to balance it. However, this year, I haven't had to use it. I have not transferred anything from emergency disaster to general fund. I just wanted you to be aware of that because I brought that up to y'all last year that I didn't agree with going with just effective because the rate itself wouldn't fund the budget. And that's what we had to do to balance it.
So what do we have in that emergency disaster fund now?
You know,
We have a couple in.
Maybe 3, I think.
but we haven't, general fund has held its own. I haven't had to pull it.
On investments, we're at 3.
Yeah, and all the investments that I have budgeted for revenue in general fund have made more than what I had budgeted.
So with the work today, do you know where we're at on numbers wise as far as, to the good, the surplus? Have you been keeping up with it?
I don't know if anybody's tallied it up.
I got that,
What you have on draft has already taken out what y'all took out yesterday in general fund commissioner's court appropriations.
Yeah.
What we went through today, I can't tell you, I don't know.
let me ask this question. Okay, Jackie, we'll have to crunch the numbers, and then we need to give those numbers to, Lynette, is that correct?
Right.
Correct. And what I did, that budget that I gave y'all, the draft, that budget is figured at the no new tax rate, the 0.6782,
Yeah.
at 94% collection.
What's the rate?
Yeah, but we didn't, I want to reiterate that the issue that we're having is that the values have gone up.
Yeah,
So even if we do the same rate, people's taxes are gonna go up.
yeah.
So put that in your mind and put that in pipe and smoke it.
Well, if you look at the difference, our current rate right now is 0.6767. And the no new tax rate is 0.6782, so there's not much difference. And on the road and bridge,
Yes.
the current is 0.2506, And the no new rate is 2.2547.
So on the general fund on my house, at the rate at 260, it's taxable rate of $267,617. At 67.6767, it's and if we go with 0.6782, my total increase will be $4.69 between those two rates.
Right.
From the rate from last year to this year. Now, the value of my home went up because last year, the market value was appraised at 37% increase, but by law, of course, we all know that they can only go up on the taxable rate at 10% per year compounded until they reach that 37% in 2 or 3 years. So my total taxes went up $164 because of the increase in my value of my home, or what they say the increase in value of my home was. But if we go with the effective rate, that's only going to increase my current taxes on my house on the general fund of $4.69.
Yes, and that, because of the climate we're in, that will be my recommendation, that we stay with the no new tax rate. Or effective rate as we know it.
6782.
Right.
Mhm.
0.6782, yeah. And this money that we cut, that we've taken out of these line items, we've got a courthouse project going on that we have to fix, required. I mean, we signed the contract, and also there's lots of things we're gonna have to do. And I would say this money that we have taken out of these line items that were not being used, we put into a contingency fund, or the contingency line item to help that project along. We've had 2 estimates on it, and they've been over $1 million each, and we do not have that much money in the courthouse restoration fund to cover that. So we're gonna have to come up with some money, and the taxpayers are not gonna be happy with us going up on the tax rate for fixing the courthouse.
So do you want that put in the courthouse restoration fund? Or do you want it put
No, I
in
would put
general
it in a
fund?
contingency
In
fund.
a contingency.
So you
fund,
want it put in the general fund contingency?
Yes.
Or,
That's right, and we can always pull from it and help that, whatever we're required to do to get the courthouse back in line.
Okay.
You're right, we're gonna have to come up with the money somewhere and get ready to do it.
Okay, what do we need to do time-wise now, Jackie? Or,
Ooh, that's, how you got your little calendar?
I've got this one, this is the one y'all read.
No,
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
I've got it somewhere, hang on, let me pull it. Because we need to let Lynette know to put, because Lynette's gonna have to put the tax rate in the paper, even though we're not going up. That's just the taxation law. So I have to let Lynette know. Let me just call Lynette real quick.
do we need to meet any more on the budget? Or the next meeting will be to approve the budget?
It should be to approve it if we,
we haven't talked
Yeah,
about
we haven't.
maintenance.
we still gotta discuss the maintenance, but I don't think
And what
it's
about the
gonna increase.
Aflac?
We've got to, I wouldn't mind doing the Aflac thing for the longevity. How much money we talking about paying for the Aflac per year?
25,200 fluctuates depending on the amount of,
Okay.
employees we have on the longevity,
I'm gonna put you on
Schedule.
schedule fund so you can,
but it should hover around
So if we allow
25,000.
28,000, that would cover 26,000 for a year or two maybe, depending on what happens.
Yes, sir.
okay, Martin, I got Lynette on the phone. So Lynette, tell them what the next, don't you ever put it in the paper?
Lynette,
Yes. It has to appear in the paper, at least 5 days before the meeting.
what is our next meeting?
Monday. Didn't court Monday?
Yeah,
No,
No.
Monday's a holiday. It's the
Oh, Monday's a holiday.
Oh,
It's the second.
14th
Monday.
is,
Yeah, it's the second Monday.
Yeah, it will have to be the September the 10th issue,
Okay.
September 10th issue,
Okay,
and then 5 days after that. No less than 5
do
days.
we need to have a court meeting to vote on this rate, or can we do it out of a
You
workshop?
know, we have to do it,
The people,
we can't vote
we'll
on
have a
anything.
court meeting.
But doesn't it have to be a regular commissioner's court?
Yes, regular commissioners court meeting.
At the next meeting.
Was that, is that to vote on it, or is that to, propose?
No, we'll,
The vote on it needs to be a regular. Well, I don't know
That's
about
to
that.
vote on
yes,
it.
it's supposed to be.
That's to vote on it, she
To vote on
said.
it has to be a regular meeting, okay.
Oh,
But it's,
So we can call a special meeting to set the proposed tax rates, right? To propose budgets.
We have to adopt the budget first, and then you set the tax rate.
To fund the budget.
Okay.
So Lynette, what you put in the paper, is that for proposed rate, or is that the rate after they adopt it?
that's gonna be the proposed rate,
Okay,
and y'all have to, the commissioners have to take a vote, because that's in the notice.
okay,
So
so,
can the proposed rate be at a special meeting, or does that have to be at a regular meeting? Just the proposed rate?
I don't know that we've ever had a special meeting just to propose it. We've always talked in budget workshop, and she's just,
No, y'all do it now, you can take your vote today.
No, we can't.
But we're in a workshop, we're not in
We're
a, not a,
in a meeting.
we're in a workshop, Lynette, we're not in a court.
It doesn't say.
I'm telling you, if it is,
Okay, let me see.
I know.
Yeah, we can't vote on it.
Okay, Donnice is looking at something that she has, but so when is the soonest you could get it in? So you can't put it in the paper till they
Till we vote on it.
vote on it, is that right?
Correct.
So the next commissioners court meeting is September 14th. And if they voted on
can we
it,
not do a special meeting for that?
I don't think
Well, we
so.
need to look that up.
We're looking it up.
We're looking it up.
Okay.
I think for the vote on the budget is what we have to be in a regular court meeting for, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the voting on the budget too, but the proposed budget.
Propose, yeah, we might can call a special meeting for that.
Okay, y'all got me confused now. We haven't never had a meeting tomorrow. It's either been to adopt it.
The next week.
So I guess we don't even really have to vote on that for the proposed budget, huh?
Right.
We just
Yeah,
come
she
to-
says you do, because she has to list y'all's names. As
That's
who
on-
voted
But that's the,
for and against for the proposed, I thought that's what she just said.
That's right.
okay.
That's right.
Is that new, or am I just losing it?
It's new.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Probably.
we didn't have a special meeting for that.
The proposed has to be a voice vote?
Yes. And so does that, Lynette, that proposed have to be at a regular court meeting? Or is it just where they adopt
Instead
it?
of talk about it.
Where they adopted is at a regular court meeting.
So they can have a special meeting to vote on the proposed tax rate and budget?
Yes.
Okay. So don't even decide when y'all
So
want.
on that special meeting, can we also include the intention of the AFLAC in
Yeah.
that, so that I can do open enrollment?
But will that become
That would be in the
effective this
budget,
year or
right?
next
It
year?
says
Proposed budget.
that, at a meeting, it doesn't specify.
Okay, as long as it doesn't specify, we're good.
And it's always easier.
Don't it follows along to the meeting, that's good.
I have a problem with that, but I got a question. Okay,
Yes, sir.
you know what?
Sir?
I seen it, so. I don't have that flag, and some of my people don't have that flag.
Okay,
What will happen to them with those benefits?
okay, if I understand, you just said they don't have AFLAC?
They get one.
So this longevity has nothing to do with whether you do or you don't. We give them $30 and they can buy
So the $30 isn't for Aflac, it's.
it has to be used for Aflac.
What they want for it.
My
We
stipulation
give them $30 credit towards the Aflac
towards
plan.
Aflac, yes.
You do that, you can't do that.
Well, why
What
not?
I'm saying is, because you're saying that for them to get the benefit, they have to join Aflac.
Well, what I'm saying is that if the county gives you a benefit, you can stipulate what that benefit is.
That's just like your vacation.
Aflac.
Yes, but the county can stipulate, because we already have a contract with Aflac, and we already have established business with Aflac. And this is a
We
good thing.
disagree.
Why would they not want to take it if it don't cost them nothing?
Because it's gonna cost them money. The $30 cover the whole policy.
Well, you can buy
On
a
some of them,
policy,
yeah.
Martin, you can buy a policy up to $30. There are plenty,
Our part cover the whole policy.
if that's what you choose, Martin. I sent some examples, and some of the policies are $24. Some of them are $64. If you choose the policy at $64, all you're gonna get from the
If the
county,
employee does,
sir,
if the employee does not run it, he doesn't get the
that is
benefit.
correct.
But,
Just like I don't want health insurance because I have a better policy with my husband, the county doesn't get in trouble for that.
So you won't get, so you're gonna not get a benefit that all the other employees are getting.
If I choose that,
Mine all want it.
if I choose
So,
to do that,
All mine want it.
Martin, I think you're, okay. $30 is what we're giving. There are policies that are less than that, and there are policies that are more than that. It's completely up to them, sir,
If they do not want Aflac.
then they forfeit their benefit.
Yeah,
If the
it
county
can't be
gives-
costing them anything if they get $30 to pay for it.
The county can stipulate the benefit part of that. It is not required by law one way or the other, so the benefit is just that. If you forfeit it, then that's just
You
what
still
you've done.
having that?
Still here.
We still need them
Do we need her anymore?
Okay, so you can't put it in the paper till they have the special call meeting, right?
Yeah, they have to vote on it.
Okay, so Martin, the next thing is, so when do we want to have the special call meeting?
Forgot about that.
Thank you, Beth.
Okay.
Is somebody gonna look at the calendar?
To approve and discuss the proposed budget.
Yeah, so when do we
Take the
want,
tax forgive.
well, we gotta do the 72-hour notice, so this is what, Tuesday?
Yes, it's Tuesday the 1st.
So it would have to be probably Monday, no, Monday's a holiday.
Has to be Tuesday the 8th.
Tuesday the 8th. And my
Will that
question,
give enough time to put that in the paper?
If the paper is set, usually Monday at noon is the deadline, but with them,
Yeah, Lynette can get them, go ahead and give it to them. But the Monday's the Labor Day holiday, so they probably won't be there. So Tuesday's when.
no, she puts it in the paper.
Let's do it for early Monday morning,
Tomorrow.
8:30 Monday morning or 8, get it in the paper.
is it this week?
That's late.
She don't have to put that in the paper.
Monday's the holiday.
Oh.
Oh, she does?
It's Labor Day.
It's when you adopt it.
It's when you adopt it. All we're trying to do right now is
Okay.
schedule a meeting.
Okay, so if we do the meeting on the 8th,
We can do it on the 14th, I
On
reckon.
their proposed, they agree, yay or nay, and then that goes in the paper, and I can get it in
so if you get it in the,
17th issue.
well, can't you get it in the 10th?
Yeah, because Monday's Labor Day and they'll probably take it Tuesday.
Well, you can give it to them ahead of time, because you know
Yeah,
they're
we know
gonna.
everything ahead of time, how they're gonna vote.
Because remember, we did that when we run into crunch time, when we had to send it to the Beaumont Enterprise and pay for it.
Yeah, we did.
I think they have to have the space, allocate the space for it.
Yeah, I'll call them.
So you still post it even though we're going with the no new tax rate, is that correct?
Right. So, But then they couldn't
Vote on
adopt,
No new tax rate for both entities.
are you wanting to do the no new tax rate for county specialty?
Hang on, Tim. We don't know how people are gonna vote. But they ain't all here.
Well, the four of y'all are.
Yeah, but we can't,
Can't control vote.
yeah, see, this,
I think she just needs to tell them what kind of space. They wanna know how much space to allocate in the newspaper, like, is it a 4x6 inch, or, that kind of thing. How many columns it is.
I have no
Specification
idea.
of that too, how big a pad it's gotta be.
Yeah.
Is there a
Quarter page.
specification how big an ad it's gotta
I
be?
think so.
Probably
Yes,
so.
the quarter page,
I think
this, new notice is,
Lynette, it's put in the paper, let's say on the 10th. Then they can't adopt it till 5 days later, is that right?
right.
Okay, well
At a
then,
regular meeting.
then that would put us past the September 30th deadline.
No, we have a second meeting in September.
No,
Yeah,
the 28th is our
the
second.
28th is our second meeting.
Oh, okay, I'm just,
Snap,
okay, never mind, I got confused.
she having a moment.
I had a blind moment, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we don't have enough dates.
She ain't even blind.
Yeah, we can do that on there.
I used to be. Okay, so that sounds like a plan. So the 8th at what time?
There you are.
No.
Oh,
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock on the 8th is the special meeting. Are you going to provide that?
I will need to get,
look,
the
look
word.
at these tablets,
And you can get that from
You
Lynette.
what, Martin?
look at this, see that that gets posted.
Kay's in here and she's taking the notes to make sure it gets posted.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jill in the morning, and you'll include the AFLAC on that. Did you email me the wording that you
Yeah.
would want?
Request.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay,
Right quick with my stuff.
okay,
That was Megan.
yeah.
Megan
Come on
just-
over.
Okay, okay.
Wait.
She's coming over.
Oh.
Calm down. Welcome to being a commissioner. You keep looking at that clock.
I know, I'm gonna miss supper.
We just had.
No, Megan just said the deadline for the booster is this Friday.
Why? Because of the holiday? Because of the holiday?
Sounds like.
Because of the holiday.
Come on in, Megan.
Friday is
We-
the deadline for the booster. Yeah,
I
but
called to check.
Megan called to check and Friday's the deadline for the booster, but Lynette's on her way over.
You can call them and block a page like she said though, I think.
Can you?
hopefully,
I can
yeah.
call one. I'll block the states, right?
She's gonna go call.
But we need a whole page, right?
Yeah.
Megan's gonna call and ask to make sure. And Lynette said,
But we still have time, so.
well, Lynette said
Even if we don't get
that,
in that paper, we'll have the next week, so.
no, but she,
That messes you up.
no, that messes us up, Stephen.
Yeah,
When is our regular meeting, 14th?
Yeah.
I think they're just funny.
So I mean, and it's gotta be 5 days before we put on the,
yeah, but you don't wanna miss that either, I mean,
No.
that's the deadline on Monday, so go ahead and have a meeting, go ahead and get it done, if it does work, you have that meeting to adopt the rate.
Okay, so if we do the proposed meeting on the 8th, and she didn't get it into the paper till the 17th, we would still have the 5 days if the regular meeting's on the 28th.
Right.
Well, yeah, she'll get it on the paper on the 14th, so it'll come out on the 17th, that's correct, yes.
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 I was gonna say, don't get me confused, because y'all got me confused earlier.
Sounds so deep on the book.
It's like who's on first, what's on second, now I'm on third.
Hello, other half.
But anyway, Lynette's on her way over because she said she was bringing her stuff, so she, I guess, wants to make sure that we all agree, we're all on the same page into how that new whatever Senate Bill 2 has caused the lovely things that it's caused.
Can I make an announcement while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of confusion out there about voting by mail. And we're getting calls, people that are angry because it's appearing that we have mailed them an application to vote by mail. And those are not coming from our office. There's certain qualifications that you have to meet to vote by mail. It's like over 65, disabled, or out of the county. And there's some others like confinement in jail. But if people are sending those in and they don't meet the qualifications, we have to reject them. So, I don't want people to get upset thinking there's some kind of voter fraud, because we will be
That's all we
rejecting it
do.
if they don't meet the
That's what you're supposed to do.
But it's already got our name printed on it, see, for people, but they're not coming from my office.
Okay, here's Kevin.
But we figured out we're running out of days.
Where are we at in this process? What are we waiting on?
So we got enough.
We got them,
Yes,
got them here now, Lynette just walked
Okay,
in.
wait, we got enough days, Kelly, I was worried.
We just double checking,
Days.
will Lynette, Mark,
Okay, I was gonna say we could probably make some concessions, like save room for you, because we probably won't have, like, print till Tuesday. They normally build the paper on Monday, so they'll build most of it on Friday. But if I need to
What you
come, you have to tell me what you need to be reserved for, and I'll put.
Okay,
Half a page, so for a whole page.
a whole
page.
page, it'll be 2 half-page
Yeah,
ads.
page,
Yes, 2 half pages.
2 half pages, and so if I reserve that for you, y'all can get that to me, like, is it camera ready on Tuesday morning?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, well then I'll just reserve that for you.
Okay, that'd be great.
When was she saying Tuesday morning, what time?
9.
Because she might be thinking
We're
Tuesday
having
morning,
the
8
meeting.
o'clock.
Having the meeting.
On Tuesday, how you can, if we got it to you by 10, is that okay?
Or is that too late?
Okay, no, we'll make it work.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
So, to vote for opposed, against, present, not voting, or absent, and then it's got the rates. And then it's got what the calculations in.
So once you put the ad in, well, they do the special meeting and come up with the proposed tax rate, it gets in the paper. Then 5 days later, at a regular meeting, they can adopt the tax rate and adopt the budget for 2021. Okay, I think we're all on the same page now.
all right, Mark,
Anything else?
anybody else got anything?
Thank y'all for all y'all help.
Yes, sir.
Everyone.
I think we can adjourn our workshop.
Is that a motion? I take a second. Have a
I'll
second.
second it.
All in favor, say aye. We adjourn.
Now you can go with
Thank y'all.
the bud.
Those are the
Thank y'all.
jumpiest cats I've ever seen in my life.
Well, no longer being recorded.
That
See,
cat-